Yeah, my
Doesn't matter.
podcast watching schedule is very weird. It's very weird.
Mine is also doubly as weird. Literally, it's only when I'm in the car or doing nothing
It's
at
just,
all.
it's just I like podcasts because it's easy to watch, easy to watch, or not watch. Yeah, like it's just easy
Listen,
to
yeah.
pick up and hear. It's cool actually. So, you had any ideas of
And,
what we're gonna speak about?
well, if you think about it too much, then we're not going to speak about anything.
Okay, so we're just gonna do it naturally. And
Yes.
now that we're thinking,
Naturally.
how do we do
Well,
that?
now you make me think about it, and
Yeah, now it's,
snowball. Damn it, man.
uh, yeah. Um, hmm,
Oh well. Ooh, let's talk about snowballs.
snowballs. I've never
Have
touched a
you ever made
snowball.
a snowball?
No.
No.
Have you?
What's the most amount of nah? Me neither. What's the most amount of snow you've ever seen in one place
At school,
in real life, bro?
the whole of our
Great.
field was covered in snow.
I remember that.
That was fun.
That was fun.
That was
It
fun.
was.
That was.
I enjoyed that. But we didn't get that much time
Mm,
there. We just like it was like a one little break, I think it was.
yeah, I remember someone slipped and broke their arm during the thing
Really?
on the stands, on the field.
Well, they're just idiots. What can I say?
Yeah, it's not our fault. It's not the snow's fault.
It's the
So
idiots' fault. Yeah.
yeah.
That's also like the thing like people sue um companies for falling in their building when it was like clearly, lady, you just didn't look where you were going.
Yeah, it's no one's fault except yours. It's your legs. Unless like,
But the lawyers don't see it like that. They're like, oh, free money.
mm, lawyers just. I mean, I'm not trying to rip on lawyers or anything. I'm just saying
I'm trying
lawyers
to rip
fight
on lawyers.
for their clients, even if it's
Not
good or
for what's
bad.
right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not saying they don't agree with it, but I'm sure.
Sometimes it's like the guy is clearly guilty, but it's their duty to fight for them.
Mm, it is. I guess that's the job of the lawyer, devil's advocate.
Yeah.
That's literally the job of the lawyer.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I just thought of a topic.
Okay.
So, what is it? Idiom. He has quite the knack coming up with cool um, idioms. Like,
Okay.
I think one was biting back the venom, and I liked that one a lot.
Oh, that's a good one. It's kind of like holding your tongue in the same sense.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's a good one.
And it's so descriptive that you knew what it was even without me.
Yeah, and that's what an idiom's supposed
Discreet.
to be. And I
Yeah,
mean,
it's great.
yeah, that's really nice. And th- that's really
We
cool.
just came up with that in class, and I think, what can you think of any good idioms? Like, what's your favorite idiom? You gotta have a favorite one, right?
Sure. Um, so, snake in the grass. That was a nice one. I always thought much about that one.
I never really
Hmm?
understood a lot of the idioms. You know, like you get that like list of idioms, you just get some that like I've never heard before, and I'm like, who
Mm,
the fuck says this
I
stuff?
mean, an idiom is the exact same thing as a collective noun. As long as you understand it, it's right.
I
Yeah,
like, yeah, I love it.
yeah. I like biting back the venom. I think that's top
It is,
five.
it's cool, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Mm. But like, schools really overteach things. I don't know,
They do.
especially with.
It's like CGP Grey's extra as a foreign languages content.
Mm, yeah, but that's a different concept in itself.
I think
The
it's the same concept. It's over teaching something
no,
unnecessary.
that's teaching unnecessary.
It's entirely necessary. So any form of teaching it is over.
That's true, but I mean, what is teaching exactly? It's just teaching something over and over until you understand it.
It's yeah, it's like it's word reinforcement. Like
Hmm.
I have a few cousins. Well, technically, if you follow the family tree, they're my nephews and nieces. But anyway, um, so they are homeschooled, right?
Mm.
And one of them has just matriculated from
Oh wow.
homeschooling and he's writing the
GED.
his part. Yeah, he's writing his GED. Or, and so he's done. He's over with school and he taught it all himself.
All
But I
himself?
think there's a certain
That's,
there's,
whoa.
yeah, he's like on. They get like an online course on the computer.
What is your view on homeschooling? I've never known.
It's always great um to have a teacher there
Oh,
just
definitely.
telling you words. It's so helpful. It's unbelievably helpful. I had to do math homework, self-taught, and I was just like, what the
Yeah,
hell is this
I,
rubbish?
I agree very much. And having that
Yeah,
person to teach you. So you're for it or against it? Like, just like that, straight up, blunt. For or against it?
that's a loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Just
neither.
question. Neither?
I'm neither,
Okay.
and I have nothing against people who are in school.
Uh,
My cousin teaches. My cousin is a homeschool teacher,
okay, so
which
let
is
me ask you this.
worse than ever.
What is your dream school?
I've only
Uh,
been at one school. Wow.
I know, like, I'm sure you have some thoughts on it.
Oh,
What would you
school
love?
from Spud.
No, okay. Like, different concepts of school, you know? I don't know. It's just a question.
You know, that's the concept they're going for, like
I haven't watched
a
Spud.
what?
Hmm.
You've read the books, though. You know your mom's
Mm,
read the books.
yeah, but my mom's, my mom, so she's very
Okay.
protective. So
So
I don't
the
even have
school in
interest. It's just
school
stupid.
in Spud, it's a boarding school first off.
I know that.
Um, but so it's like it's this big old school, and it's great because like they wear like full uniforms um every day. They have sports and um and so there's a bunch of free time. Just because like um private schools that we go to, right? They overload us with a lot of work compared to public schools.
Hmm.
But in boarding schools, you spend your time at the school, so they may as well just give you all your schoolwork done and dusted instead of
How does that work? How does that work? You just give
So
them.
you know how I guess I've loved my school to go from 7 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, five
Really?
o'clock in the afternoon. Yes,
Why?
love it.
Why?
Everyone says, no, man, you're insane. And I'm like, well, fuck, no, I'm not insane. I get no homework. It ends at 5 o'clock. I go home, I play video games, I sleep, I go back to school the next day. Nothing off my chest. No fucking homework for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's true. If you think about it like that. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm not against any of it. Just
People
maybe
just look at me with this look of like, how could you spend more time at school? And none of them realize how much time you
you
end up
spend of home.
in a school situation.
Hmm.
Like, how often do you end up going until 6 o'clock, still finishing up that homework or that project and stuff like that?
I
Like,
didn't even do it in back in the day. I was just I just left it and I didn't even try. Yeah, and
well,
I
exactly.
agree
So,
with that. And and just getting it over and done with is not adding to your education. It's just just make you more apathetic towards school. So I think that's true. Damn.
that's why mainly like the thing with when you become like so I'm taking business studies, right? And a big thing that they touch on when it's like an entrepreneur is that your work comes home with you. It like never stops. Your homework is forever
It's your business,
there.
and
Yeah, so you're forever doing your work. And I think that I would love it if that was not the case. If I could just go home, you know, just
mm,
do my own thing at home and then go to work and worry about work at work.
that that doesn't work because businesses are 24/7. That's kind of the
That's if you're being
point.
an entrepreneur, making a business, constantly having it there, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you're not, then I can go home. Obviously, granted, depending on your field of work, it could be like once a year when a certain event comes around, you have to like pull you have to like go for like a hard call for 2 weeks, but then the rest of the year it's just menial work. You just still have that same salary. I
Mhm.
could live with that.
You
I
could.
could enjoy that because that
Mm,
constant high intake of work yet still going home, I'd love it.
okay. That's. Hmm. I don't know. Like just con. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of cool to have
Well,
your
what would
work at
you
home.
rather do? What would you rather do?
No, that's exactly it. Like, okay, so are we speaking about our dream jobs? I suppose. I don't know.
Well, there was a school, and it obviously translates to
Your job one
work.
day.
How would you like your work-home
No,
relationship to be?
exactly what you said. Longer school days, no homework. The homework makes up majority of our stress. And but what about studying? What's your view on studying during that?
Studying, it has its own period. It's called study hall. It already exists. It's a big thing already.
Okay. And are you given the option of studying at home?
Um, I would obviously still, because
Mm-hmm.
their marks would be up for a reason. And that's because you study, study, study.
Okay. Um, do not
But it
think.
would take a big chunk of, take a lot of stress off you
Yeah.
if you were to just be,
Have no
you
homework.
have a period. Like having a period, like an hour-long period, where the whole hall just sits in silence and just studies.
Mm.
Like that's just fucking awesome.
Yeah, but in Finland or Poland, they literally abolished homework entirely.
You see, someone's going in the right steps.
Definitely. It's just like the rest of the world hasn't caught up, I suppose. But then, how would you
Yeah.
go about like trying to enforce that in the world? Because if it isn't broke, don't fix it. That's their motto, I suppose.
Who says it's not broke?
Yeah, precisely. It's just that's
It could be it's deeply flawed if you think about it in the
I
sense of the okay, let's take China, the most educated country in the world, I think by per capita,
most educated.
right?
No, I think most intensely
In
educated. That like in
well, for their population size, I would say they are very highly educated.
mm,
Um,
still a lot of poverty though.
it's an easy assumption to say Chinese people are smart,
Yeah,
right? And so
sure.
their schooling, um,
Is
it
intense.
deeply affects them. Like many kids in China commit suicide because they cannot keep up with the standards that they are set, right? So they go to school from my hours that I set, 7 till 6, I think it is, school 7 to 6, then they still come home and they do at least 5 hours of homework, apparently. I don't know if the figures are correct, but
That
their
is
whole
also
life is school.
that is also very derived by their culture. Their culture is very derived by um
Yes, and that's why it's a
regime.
perfect example. That's a perfect example because if you were to tell those kids that we are going to lower the standards for you as a person to not have to go through so much pain after school, and you
Mhm.
had some time to yourself, they'd
Mm.
snap at it. And the parents, they've gone through this, they survived, so they really don't care. But just leave it in for a generation. Leave it in for a generation, and in that generation, it's just like, oh my kids, we made the switch, and it was amazing. Enjoy coming home and not doing homework.
The thing is, the reason why, because China is mostly poverty. In that in ratio towards its population, it's mostly poverty. How many of those people go
And
on
those
to
that
be
educate.
engineers and actually do something with that education, with being?
If they don't kill themselves first.
Sure. Yeah, that's also something. But I'm pretty sure Japan actually has more higher rates of suicide because of their,
It's
since
because
their
they have a
economy.
whole forest dedicated to it. That's just their fault.
No, that's no, okay. That's more.
No, I know what you mean. I'm messing with you.
Yeah, I know. It's like but that whole debacle was incredibly weird. But I wonder what the highest rates of like um. But how are you supposed to judge an education system on happiness or on results? Because I mean
Results.
that's kind of like
Purely results.
precisely, and that's why most countries will
Education is
not.
education.
That's why most countries won't convert, because then perhaps one generation would literally ruin their
Well,
whole economy.
no, you're not. You said how do we measure education, and it's in results. But
Yeah,
how do you measure your suicide rates? In bodies
no,
of kids.
that's
That's
statistics. That's not something
so
that you would
then
measure.
if it yeah you
You would
can
measure
yeah you take that statistic of so many kids
and compare it
dead
to the education system.
versus
Mm,
how well they're doing. If they're doing extremely well, right? They're doing so well, in fact, and you still feel worth it to kill the kids, then you're a sicko, first off.
okay,
Like,
I think you're overestimating the government's or the system, the system's um
people start to care
empathy.
eventually.
Really? Okay, I understand that
Well,
there is
like
people that care. Of course there is.
Japan's population is in a it is declining. It is decreasing. It
Yeah,
has more it is
old
more
people.
elderly than it has young.
That's,
So if
yeah,
they want to preserve their country, they're
they
gonna
have to
have to
change
keep kids
something.
around.
I definitely agree with that. Hmm.
And so because there's so much stress on the smaller men in the country, then you see what I mean by that
But
if they
that's
were to
also,
change something, make them happier, give them more time to be themselves. Less time of being you gotta be perfect, you gotta make money, you gotta get to this,
yeah,
you gotta spend a quarter of your you gotta spend the first 20 years of your life preparing. Okay, I did this thing. You spend the first quarter of your life preparing yourself for the next 2 quarters of your life, and those next 2 quarters are preparing you for the last quarter.
okay,
And in that
yeah,
last quarter, you're just gonna die in that old sickly bed of yours, and
yeah,
that just sucks. Like that's just hard.
yeah, and that sucks. But that also leads back to our economy being a capitalist society, and if you're not making a quota, a sum of money each year, that economy would dwindle, and once the economy dwindles, education dwindles, and poverty springs out of the depths of wherever it came from, and in
Well,
so
if you
ruining the country. And that's why countries are so afraid
well
of
you
changing it. And if it's
but then
working,
they never do it right. They say, oh, let's cut the homework, but school still ends at 2 o'clock. Like, no, that's not how it must do. You got to make up for that loss of time spent
I
working
just
somewhere.
I think taking away homework is okay. I understand. I'm all for changing the education system, but I'd rather have a bit of okay. Yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, you're actually forcing me to think this out now.
Yeah, think, man. Think.
Okay.
Like if you were to say that a country would so like if a so when they never do it right, they always end
Mm,
2 o'clock. So if they make it up somewhere, if they were to say school ends later, but you have no homework, okay, obviously you're still gonna take in some form of like, okay, we took away the homework now and we extended the school hours. Is it working for us? Are people happier? Are
how?
they
But
are
how is
they
someone
are they
supposed to
still
measure
performing?
that? How
20
so?
years, 20 years
Mm,
from the start of a kid's life to the end of a kid's schooling career and see where he goes straight out of
five
the gate.
years can ruin economy. Just okay. I'm just saying in context.
You implement it in two schools.
See schools.
In yeah,
Okay. Okay.
you take 2 districts of your public schooling district. You change those districts, right?
Okay.
That's not going to affect anyone. It's going
That's
to
gonna
affect
affect
those
the
people, yes,
children. Yeah.
but it's never going to affect them so badly. If you take my aunt, for example, right? You
Mhm.
would never know this, right? But she was in a experimental class.
We
They
were in
didn't have,
experimental class. Our
no, no,
whole
we were
prep
in,
school, it
no,
was
that was
experimental.
just a unfortunate example of teachers
Yeah.
changing and
Okay.
them conforming to what schools listen to. She was in an
Okay.
actual experimental class.
Okay. So
They
it's
had
like
no homework.
literally,
They had
it's
longer
directed
hours,
by the thing.
but
Okay.
they would do projects.
Projects and how.
Just projects.
Okay. So like projects.
Like
Okay. Okay. Go
no,
ahead.
like art projects. Like they make if they had an English instead of writing an English paper, they do a reenact. They do a model construct of the battlefield, right?
Okay. Okay.
And so they did this for 5 years. She came out fine. She's retired now. Two,
And what
three
did that?
kids.
Uh, and how did that experimental phase change anything in the schooling system?
Of course not. You're in school now. You know how it is.
I know. But
We
yeah, and that's
we
my
don't.
points exactly. These
Yeah, no, but
experimental things.
that's my. But your point was that it would
I don't have any point yet.
greatly affect them, right?
I'm still kind of shaping my points in this. I'm just being um.
I know I'm coming out of the gate here. I'm ready to box people. Oof,
No, it's
got my
fine.
gloves on, dusting them off. But
I
so
rather have
it
you
didn't
box and
affect her in the long
do
run.
that.
It didn't affect her at all.
I don't see how that would help. I don't know. Okay, first of all, I
You
rather have an economy with happy people than an economy, no economy, with sad people. That's something. That's a no-brainer, of course. But there's also coming back to like this capitalist system. Like, where am I going with this? Um, I don't know. I don't know.
think
Okay,
I'm gonna run with this a little bit more.
no, please
You
do.
formulate your point.
I will.
Okay, so you take 2 school districts, you change these 2 school districts, right?
Okay.
It won't affect anyone in the long run. They will still receive their graduate degrees. They'll still be able to be employed, right? Employers employ people with degrees and experience. So as long as you have that, you're good. Doesn't matter how your schooling was learning out of a textbook or making projects, right? My aunt is a perfect example of this.
Mm-mm.
But so if you were to expect, like, it won't affect them that much. You make up the time that they would have been after school, um, making these, doing this homework. You make it up during school, right? You have a teacher there teaching, reinforcing the stuff. Because the second the kid is left alone to self-learn, it gets muddled up. So rather have the teacher teach them until the end, and then let them go home, relax, rejuvenate, and come back to school the next day, ready, ready to do the school day. It's like it's called a It's like a 9 to 5 job, really,
But why is school?
right?
Okay, okay. You carry on. I do have a point, but I wanna let you speak first. Go ahead.
So you're gonna spend the next 2 quarters of your life in a 9 to 5 job if you're a very boring person and that's just how your job works out. So you're gonna spend your life doing a 9 to 5. Many jobs aren't actually a 9 to 5. I know my father's is a 8 to 5. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
but your
just
dad owns the
operating
business, though.
hours.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but office hours are like 8 o'clock in the morning because he works overseas and stuff like that. So
Okay.
you gotta be calling. You gotta be able to make appointments and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's besides the point. Hours be hours,
Mhm.
right? So if you're going to have a half of your life doing that, then make the first quarter preparing for that if that's how these people want to swing it. But anyway, take away the stress of being haggled at home by parents to get your homework done, right?
Mhm.
Rather just go to school, listen in class, come home. I know everyone in the world is not perfect and will do this, but just taste it. People should be happier. They don't have, like, when you get homework in class, you have such a sigh. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna have to stop school, go home, maybe have some lunch, and then I'm gonna have to go straight back to school. Except I
You're in
have
your own
the,
home with more
now I'm in my
distractions
own home with my internet, my distractions, my
and no
mother in the
teacher
background, and
to
no
teach.
one there to help me,
Okay.
okay? If your whole argument about homework is, no, you must do it by yourself, the teacher can just shut up and work at her desk. But at
Yeah.
least if you're
And
really
that's what
stuck,
most teachers do anyway,
you could
when they assign
exactly.
homework.
So
That's how a teacher
if
works.
it's like if
Okay.
it's something that like you really want the kid to try it by themselves, make them try it by themselves, right? Like work must be done. I'm a big supporter of detention. Make detention harsh. Like do it like Benny's. Benny's you take nail clippers. They they quarter off a 2 meter by 2 meter square on the field and make you cut that grass to a
Okay.
centimeter tall with nail clippers. And they spend 5 hours doing this a weekend. Okay, I'm a little cynical. I'm a cynical old man. I want this to happen because I'm a goody two shoes, and this will never happen to me. And I think the kids that are
Your
jerks should
arguments
do
is
this.
getting a
So,
little bit. Okay, you could just rein it back
so
from what you
if
want and what is more
they were
logical.
going to implement this, they must give a reason for kids not to just take work home and have their parents do it, first off.
Okay. Okay.
And so then making school a time where you want to be productive and you want to get the stuff done so you do not have to suffer the
But that's not a.
consequence.
But that's not a very
Hey,
um.
no, okay, you don't have to be as cynical as me. That's just how I feel because people are
No, no, no.
assholes. Okay,
I'm
maybe
not.
you don't have to have homework.
No, I'm
I
saying
did
okay.
spiral a little bit there,
I'm
but I
saying
see what you mean.
I'm saying being stressed is part of life, and navigating the stress is not gonna help anyone. But of
Well, you're
course,
not nulling it.
being
You
stressed.
still got to do schoolwork. You still
N
got to study
n
for them exams, and you still got to get a 80% average. You still got to pass school. You still got to get a job after school. You still got to get a wife. You still got to get kids. You still got to do this. You still got to do that.
mhm.
It's not going to stop, but at least
Yeah.
you can have a break when you go home.
Okay, so your whole thing is just revolving about not having homework. I
And
guess
going
home.
home and home, enjoying home life.
Mhm.
That's my
Okay.
whole argument.
Okay, so I have I have an argument as well. It's not necessarily a rebuttal to your thing, but the argument. But like, what is school supposed to achieve in your mind? Like, just straight off, tell me.
Um, having a classification, having some sort of reason for people to think you've done some work.
Doesn't work. Done some work how?
If you don't have a degree, people don't want to hire you because they think you're a lazy piece of shit. Go to school, get a degree, boom, people are instantly like, hey, this guy put in the hours. Even though he might have sat there on his ass on his phone and scraped by on his exams, at least he's got a degree.
Okay. But what if you have a degree and there is no jobs for you? What is school supposed to achieve then?
Well, at that point, then you gotta do something by yourself.
Okay.
People aren't gonna hire you for your degree. You change your degree up. You either A, go study again, you could get another degree on top of your degree. Having 2 degrees simultaneously, it like limits your market so that you're really prized. Like people that have dual degrees get hired over people with 1 degree, and because they have this information and knowledge on another topic, especially if it's
Yeah.
relevant to the workplace.
Okay. So,
Um,
so what I'm hearing is that um, school in the abstract is supposed to give you knowledge, right? It's that's what it
in the
is.
abstract, yes, it should in theory be teaching you the ways and woes of life.
Okay. It's not a very subtle way of teaching it, though, is it? But I mean, thinking
Cramming it down a kid's
that way.
throat is not subtle at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you about my new LO class.
Okay.
The head of the school is taking us for LO, and his whole goal, right, isn't to be like normal LO classes where it's like, okay, we can make a poster on bullying, and it's none of that bullshit anymore. He's teaching us how compound simple interest. He's teaching us how to jack a tire. He's teaching us how to replace plug heads, right? Practical, useful stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
This is something that would have been taught in home ec, or like the cooking class, or
Yeah.
the woodshop class, or carpenter's class, or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Trust me.
But this stuff has
I've done
never
like.
been practically taught. Stuff like this has never practically been taught
Yeah, but
until
if you're all
now.
for this whole practical thing, then why are you such a candidate for? I suppose because there's
Because
like these.
knowledge is power.
Yeah, but if that knowledge is never used, then it's basically just it's null.
It's still
It doesn't
power.
do anything.
It's still power. Like, you look at Mr.
Power
Medea,
to
he
do what? If you're if you're dying of hunger, that knowledge does jack.
If you die of hunger and you know how to hunt, you're gonna hunt.
No, but okay, no, no,
If
no,
you're dying
no.
of if you're dying of
We're in the
thirst,
21st
you're gonna
century.
know how to catch the rain.
You're not gonna move into the wild because you have no job now.
No, 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 you
You're not
jump
gonna
over
do
the
that.
fence and you strangle the guy's dog.
Oh, no, you don't do
You
that,
skin his
Josh.
dog, you put it over,
Okay.
you start a fire in a dustbin, you burn the dog alive, you eat it. Because you learn. You know how to cook meat.
You're being extreme now. This is just being extreme.
I'm taking this to the extreme because this is where arguments are won and lost. In the extreme.
No,
You're gonna take this all the way to the edge.
this is
All the way to the edge. Does it
illogical
still work?
extremes. It's not real extremes. What
Does
we're
it
saying.
still work in the extreme? Let's go to the other end.
Schooling? No,
You don't
it
know
doesn't.
anything, but you're a rocket scientist. What then? Are you going to be sending people into space? You don't know how to build a rocket. You're going to kill these poor people.
Yeah, precisely. And if you're not hired,
So
being
knowledge is
a rocket,
power.
it is power. But having that classification, as you're talking about, is just as important as knowledge. Now, isn't it?
And that's a way to show that knowledge. Yes, granted, school is not the best place. If they were to fix it up a little bit, it could be great.
But how would
But
you fix
having
up
this
a
knowledge
system
is
that has been going for over a century now? Especially
well,
in
no,
a
no, no,
system the
no,
way
a
we are
century.
now.
Not only we have been school,
Okay,
it's only
I don't know.
been
I don't know
100 years.
I don't have the time frame.
Which is a century, granted, I realize that now. I was thinking more of a millennium?
Millennium's
Yeah,
not the way. No, no way.
I realize that.
When it's
That's,
mainstreamed, school is only been recently mainstreamed. That people have a right to be schooled, and
yes.
that's only been recently. And thinking that before it hasn't changed at all. And I know this is basically copying and pasting these word poets saying, "Oh, school is useless," but I don't agree with that either. I'm just saying school hasn't changed in the slightest since it's been mainstreamed. The system
Okay,
hasn't been. Yeah.
let's pull this back a little bit and let's review our points here.
Hey,
So
are we going
so
extremes?
well, no, well, okay, no. Let's just look at the points that we made because we might be losing
Yeah,
ourselves
we
a
are.
bit. Um, so I'm saying that school is important. It needs to be fixed in how it is conducted.
But how do
That
you conduct?
doing it and completing it is important. Your argument is, sum it up in a few points.
No, I don't even have an argument. I'm just trying to make your argument seem
In devil's
illogical, which
advocate,
it
you
is.
son of a bitch, you're Brady, you piece of shit. Okay, let's do this again. You're
No,
strangling a dog.
okay. First of all, your argument at first was about doing homework, and first of all, homework is a very big part of school. I do agree with that.
That I feel is unnecessary if you were to replace it with something
But
better.
first of all, you have to go to the roots of the thing. If you're stressed, stress is a good thing in many ways. It's like this whole speech that our moms give us that it's good stress, bad stress. Okay, it's part of life. But teaching it
Also
in a
gives
more
you
effective
ulcers.
way is a lot more effective. Teaching about the stress, how it feels. But isn't that the
Yes,
way
having a
society
practical
works? Uh,
lesson on how to handle stress,
soc-
not a
Society,
PowerPoint presentation brought in
because
by
then
some
yeah, that
asshole.
one works. PowerPoint
It,
presentations of what
it
poverty is
never works.
never okay.
Never works. Like really, I think they're gonna bring in this like health expert to a bunch of teenagers. The most health we ever do is gymming our asses off because our school says so.
And because of vain reason, that's like 80% of the course.
Yeah, we're not going for health. We're healthy. We don't have to exercise.
Mm.
We're kids. We're heal. We're fit. We're biologically made to grow up and be strong. Granted, you can be fucked up, but yes, we're biologically made to grow up and be strong. You just got, and the only time we should practically be worrying about becoming fit is A, trying to attract a female, B, trying to survive long enough to provide for that female.
Mm.
So
Okay.
when they come
So,
into school and they tell us
it
to
sounds
keep
like
healthy and stuff,
it sounds like we're living in the bushveld
we
because
are, we
we're
are,
going
we,
to
we're
survive
monkeys with our monkey
even though
brains doing monkey things.
that doesn't work in this context.
It does.
No, it
Think
doesn't.
about it.
It doesn't work in
It
this
does.
context.
How
No, it
does it
doesn't.
not work in this context?
Because we're speaking about school. It doesn't. Oh shoot! What is this?
We're monkeys.
Hmm.
We're apes, but we're monkeys.
Or neither. We're a
We're primates. Bite me.
whatever. We're not speaking about our evolution right now. We're speaking about.
Oh, do you remember the time when I said you're from monkeys and you're like, but we don't look like monkeys? No, 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 I didn't say that. No, no, no. I said, oh yeah, you did say that. But then I was like, did you know we share 90% of our DNA with banana? And you're like, but we don't look like bananas. And I got so angry at you. I was like, oh, you piece of shit. But I couldn't do anything because we were in a mass. We were in a 2 hour long mass. So I was like,
Yeah, I wasn't
I,
very
I
nice.
was like, I was like boiling. I was just like, no, but we do. It's DNA's DNA. If you change our DNA by 1%, turn into dolphins, man. Like, come on, really? I
DNA
was just like
is still a
boiling
very.
inside.
I wouldn't say unknown because we know a lot about our DNA, but it's still a very elusive topic to study because DNA is so complex. And DNA is what makes us up, of course.
But
It's
it's
our
still
string.
it's still correct DNA shade of a banana.
Yeah,
Yet that
I
ten
don't
percent that
disregard
is
that.
changed is the 10% that makes us.
Yeah, but we aren't bananas, and that's the point. And plus, in my defense, I couldn't care less about the whole banana thing. It's just anyway. Um,
Yeah, it just like that exactly is what vexes me when I have a perfectly innocent fact and people are like, ah, it's bullshit. No, it's
hmm,
just an innocent fact. What the
yeah,
hell? What's wrong with you? Why do you experience no joy in your life?
yeah. I suppose so. But anyway, okay.
Are you skylining me?
I think I am because
Skylining me.
I think we're both being a little bit extreme
I'm
at the
not
moment.
skylining. I'm here. I'm here. What do you want
Okay,
from me? What do you want
okay,
from me?
okay.
What do you want from me?
Anyway,
What do you
I
want
guess
from
okay, let's not skyline, but
me?
let's skyline the whole banana thing. I don't want to speak about that
Okay, I
anymore.
can skyline the bananas. Okay, so we just strangled the dog and we're cooking it over a fire.
Ugh. Okay, yeah, okay. I guess
Okay, are we off
we
the
both have
skylining that one? We're skylining that one. I can hear it.
very weak points right now. I mean, some of the thoughts
I
were
do not
quite
have a
good.
weak point.
No, I agree with most of your points. I'm literally just being a devil advocate. Yeah,
Ah,
so
I swear if I could. Oh man. Oh, thank God
what's
you're like all the way in Cape Town. God, I've
what?
punched you by now.
Okay, cool, great,
Oh man.
cool. Uh,
Oof,
jingles.
man. I gotta like, yeah, jingle. I need to like wipe the bead of sweat off my forehead from fighting my point.
No, I was never against it. What are your, what is your most key points? No homework? That's the sheep.
I mean, no, wait, like well, the second I stopped talking about homework, it just changed into why the hell you should learn anything if it means nothing if you have no power.
Yeah, that's how society works, dude. I mean,
No, knowledge is power, man.
knowledge is of course power, but I mean, people can have knowledge and facts, those stupid freaking facts on Instagram, the 8-bit facts or whatever facts, but that will not give them any knowledge in the world. The economy doesn't work that way. Currency
Yeah,
doesn't
it does.
work that way.
It does.
Facts does not run
So it does.
the
It
currency.
does. It.
Facts
Well,
don't.
if you're gonna take it all the way to the end, but these guys make an income from doing these facts. These full facts. People enjoy
Seriously,
these. They
Josh.
make an income from that.
Oh, no, Josh. Oh,
They
I don't
make
want
an
to be
income.
condescending. Just, hmm, I don't know. Um,
They
facts are not
make that.
currencies. Mm,
If you're gonna take it to a one-to-one ratio, of course not. I'm not gonna walk up to people and say, hey, 2 + 2 is 4, and then suddenly I bought myself a sandwich. It's not gonna work like that. But the way you
I mean,
use your knowledge is currency. It is how you're gonna
yes,
get a job. It
I,
is how you're
I
going to
do agree with
operate.
that, but the only way you're going to get a job is getting a degree, and the only knowledge that counts is what school teaches, and that's what knowledge is. And people don't teach you
Not the
carpenting in
only knowledge
school,
that counts is what school teaches.
and people don't give you degrees for carpenting. At least I think so.
They, they
Do they?
do.
Do they?
My grandfather
And
was a carpenter by trade.
your grandfather was speaking 21st century, Josh. Anyway, like,
He built yachts for a living.
I understand.
By
I understand. But mostly these days, that's automated. Jobs are changing, and I was watching
carpenters
I was
don't
watching a
exist
Hello
in
Internet
place.
podcast that some jobs don't spring out of nowhere. Jobs come from somewhere, and if anything, jobs dwindle. Because I mean, first of all, like pilots and um, Uber drivers are gonna become null. I'm using null a lot. I just don't have a better word for it. It's just,
Yeah.
but
But then those guys that were driving the Ubers and stuff, they
become
they're
what?
gonna go somewhere.
And get a degree at
Um,
50 years old, and they're not paid very
no,
much.
they're 50 years old. They openly admit many Uber drivers do this as a second job.
Or oh,
This is
really?
not their only
I
source
never
of
knew that.
income. Yeah,
Okay, but
and he's like,
why must that not
how much?
be a second source of income? Uh, okay, but like
Like,
jobs are opening up because. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm making
Oh,
very good points in my head. I already made good points. It's just okay.
so if I'm going to become an Uber driver, and then in 2 years my job's been overtaken by an auto,
Yep.
do you think that's gonna affect me?
Of course it is.
I'm gonna yes,
You're not gonna
I'm gonna
have.
lose my job.
You're not gonna
But
have a job. And how?
but
Yep.
but 7 billion people in the world, or 7 point something
You're
billion people in the world,
you're a number on a
and
spreadsheet.
billions and billions of people still have jobs. And the
Yeah.
more and more people are pushed out of jobs,
The more and more
the
people.
less and less people can pay for stuff.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a point. There's going to be a tipping point where so many things are automated that only the people that produce the
And
automated
and
products
only
can afford
then
the automated products.
and only
That
then when
is the
people can't
extreme of
pay
it.
for those products that no one has to even touch to be made is when society will have to say, okay, this is not working. People are dying because they can't pay for this. There's no jobs for them. It's going to be genocide because
And
it's practically
that's what
genocide.
Germany got right.
Yeah, in a sense, sure. I'm sure
The
that's right.
World War II, uh, when the Nazis had taken over, they gave a extremely deep cut wage to everyone in the country for
That's that's
menial labor,
that's yeah.
and that's great. That is all. That is giving work. Like it's work that could have been done by a machine easy, but instead of paying for $1 million machine,
Currency
they
itself
spread out among people.
is what causes stuff like this to be something. Currency governs the way money. Let's just
What do
call
you
it
want to
money.
throw? Do you want to be trading goats and pigs to people still?
No, but I'm saying that there's not going to be a currency one day because society's going to change so much. I already explained this. That like society will have to change, otherwise it will, as you said, with the whole Nazi thing. There's going to be a change. Ah, okay.
Eventually, we're going to hit a tipping point where people need to look out for other people.
But that's just a dystopian future. I mean, anything in the
It's
future is
not
going
going
to
to
be a
be a
dystopian.
dystopian future when people are running out of jobs.
That
It's
is a
going to be
dystopian
our
future.
very present now. Can't be that distant. Think about it. Everyone's being educated in these
A
higher
dystopian
degrees of
future
education.
is not in the future. It is the now. A dystopian is always gonna be in the present. It doesn't evolve in the future.
Yeah, but
As
it never actually happens in
I'm just
dystopian
copy and
futures.
pasting just CGPGA topics right now. It's not
But like
in
I
the
said,
future.
everyone's being educated in such a high education level
And no one's getting
that
jobs because you
they
didn't tell you a
everyone's
few
gonna have to
months
be
ago.
bumped down. Everyone's gonna have to just go down and be stuck doing menial labor even though they have an engineering degree.
Yeah, and that would make people
Uh,
even more sad, and schools will literally be nothing because menial labor's gonna be there. We'll be technically back in the Stone Age, except that no one can afford iPhones. That's
Two
that.
out of three homeless people in America have high school degrees.
Yeah, and yeah, and I was gonna say, I already said to you a few months ago that this generation is the most educated and the most underpaid generation in.
And it's only gonna get worse with the next. It's only gonna get worse with the next.
You're literally agreeing with me now. Come on. I need some.
You're agreeing with me.
No, I made all the points.
I
I'm
made all the points.
okay. Whatever,
You
Fletcher.
wanted me to argue with you, and you decide to give up when I start arguing. What's with
I didn't say anything.
you? Yeah, you did. That's exactly why. That's exactly what happened.
I wanted to argue with you. Okay.
Yes.
Mm,
You're
that's
like,
the point of
now
a whole
you're agreeing
freaking.
with me.
Yeah, that's the reason why we argued. That so I can be right. That's the point, right?
Okay, viewer, please comment in who is who has made the better points, not
We didn't
necessarily
even
who's
make a
right.
point. It was
But we
basically just arguing
have made many points.
many
Many
points that
points.
have been argued several times over the ages. And okay,
And so we give our 2 cents. You have a problem with my 2 cents?
it's your 2 cents. What's a cent?
Yeah.
What's a 2 cent?
We still we have 2 cents in South Africa.
2 cents?
How do you?
What are we speaking about now? What are you?
Did you just blank out halfway through my argument?
No, that's I don't.
Yes.
I I feel dumb now. I don't know where 2 cents comes from. Please help.
We just gave our 2 cents.
Okay, maybe I did blank out because I don't remember anything to do with 2 cent, dude.
We used our 2 cents.
No. So what's wrong with our 2 cents? It's only the currency. Sometimes
What about how have you never read The Outsiders? You've read The Outsiders. I know you read The Outsiders.
of course I've read it, but I never cared.
Matthew,
It was a
what are
freaking
your 2 cents?
thousand freaking boring book.
It was a
Um,
good book.
yeah, sure. Subjective.
What? No, it's not subjective. It was a nice book. I enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah, well, if you like it, sure, go ahead. I didn't like it. Okay.
It was honestly one of the better set works we had.
Yeah.
Along with The Rat of Nymph, which I enjoyed thoroughly.
We didn't even get to read that. I had a horrible teacher. That
Oh yeah, you guys did.
yeah. She.
The Rat of Nymph was great. Indian in the Cupboard was awesome. The movie was kind of a letdown in the book.
But all
I really
movies back
enjoyed
then were kind of a letdown. It was basically the
Oh, it was
set
still a
piece.
great movie for if you hadn't read the book and been like, oh, but so much more.
No, but the book was nice. I just wasn't into books back then, so I was going along with it.
Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was good up until the end. The end got very rushed in my class, so.
Yeah, you couldn't get the full experience. Yeah.
Actually, how long have we been doing this for?
What? I don't
The
know.
podcast. How long have we been recording?
I'm not the one that sets the thing. I don't know.
You're
But
recording. You must do the timer.
I know. I normally just rely on you, dude. But anyway,
Wait,
I
I
think
don't know. I can't even see my clock.
okay. Chris left at about 10:30, right? Or 10:15. I think we have like
Yes,
four.
it's almost about 11:15.
I think we have like 5 minutes. I don't know.
Well, just cut it. Well, go now. Be safe, and we'll see everyone tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
we'll see
next
you
time we see. Next time.
next. Yeah,
Goodbye.
next time we see you.